What happens if Aya Wilson's Las Vegas Aces are destroyed by the Indiana Fever despite losing their best player? Your perception of this team will be totally altered by the response. Her teammates took care of business on the court while Caitlin Clark sat on the bench, still hurt but still getting mad at the referees. When it counted most, Kelsey Mitchell lost 21 points. Additionally, Sophie Cunningham just emerged as the league's most attractive player. This was more than simply a victory, literally. Everything in the league was rocked by that comment. How, therefore, did the Fever achieve this resounding triumph? In this game, what did Sophie do that caused her to replay it? If you are motivated, leave a comment and redo Sophie. Come on, back in the W conversation. That right, there was a gut check victory. Music, it was enjoyable, really. Oh my, these jerseys are swaggy as well. Imagine this. Your club just suffered consecutive defeats at the hands of the Liberty, and your superstar has a groin injury and is sitting on the bench in street clothes. On July 24th, the Indiana Fever found themselves making their way back into Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The air was heavy with the weight of those two consecutive defeats. The same question was being asked by everyone. In the absence of Caitlin Clark, who is the Fever? Of course, Caitlin has no timetable, but what has she accomplished in the past week? Can she perform any kind of practice, or is it primarily just rehab recovery? Yes. Actually, we haven't practiced much since the days leading up to All-Star break. Basically, she has been with our athletic training staff and has been involved in rehab shooting. And we have been getting everyone else ready. The Fever's record of 12 victories and 12 losses only partially reflected the situation. Their prospects of making the playoffs were no longer the only thing critics were doubting. All season long, they were penning obituaries. Social media was cruel. They were portrayed on sports talk shows as fakers who got revealed as soon as their superstar status was over. The story was straightforward and heartbreaking. You're left with nothing exceptional if you take away Clark. With each day that went by, the pressure increased. There was playoff seeding at stake. Now every game counted. A'ja Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces, the reigning champions who were acutely aware of the situation, stood in their way. The Aces entered Indianapolis with a record of 12 wins and 11 losses, but they exuded the poise of seasoned winners. For any opponent, Steph Caitlin is a challenge in and of herself, but how is your squad different when she isn't playing? Our ball moves differently, I believe. What we run is different, you know. She's very serious and has the ability to improve everyone with the ball in her hands, not simply to be the best scout. We do some different things while she's on the floor than when she's not, so to speak. We run a lot less on-ball activity and a lot more off-ball things, Stephanie White, the coach, felt the burden of, more than anyone else at this moment. She was aware that the identity of her team will be completely defined by this game. Were they just another team that relied on their star player to succeed? Or were they real competitors capable of competing with top teams? When doubt began to seep into everyone's thoughts, White needed to find the appropriate words to speak to her team. Yes, knowing that there is nothing else going on and that there is no pro causing any more harm is undoubtedly a relief. Now, it's simply a matter of waiting patiently for the procedure to finish. 5-minute gaps cannot defeat great groups. They bury you in such moments and make you pay for it. Throughout the season, we have, I believe, witnessed times when we have been incredibly strong for extended periods of time and when we have endured the highs and lows of a game, and we must be able to do so with an objective mindset. We're not able to get into the playing conservative game. The Aces entered with assurance, perhaps even arrogance. During warm-ups, their body language showed it. It is likely that A'ja Wilson and her Olympic teammates, as soon as Clark was hurt, they marked this game on their calendar. They had the perfect chance to confirm what many had long suspected, that the Fever were a one-woman show masquerading as a basketball team. Over the previous 2 seasons, Wilson had been battling her own jealousy issues with Clark. She now had the opportunity to prove to everyone who the true MVP was. This was perhaps the Aces' statement game, their opportunity to show the league that titles are more important than publicity. However, this is where the narrative takes a surprising turn that no one anticipated. Having a team be absolutely counted out is perhaps the finest thing that can happen. Every single doubt served as gasoline for the Fever. They turned their greatest shortcoming into their greatest asset. The WNBA as a whole would be shocked by what followed, which made it clear that this club was far from done. When all went well, the Fever were going to demonstrate that champions aren't created. When all goes wrong, they are forged. Come on. Come on. All right. When we respond to runs today, everyone, you all have each other's backs today. We prevented them from making a slight comeback when it appeared they might have, dude. Yes, we did. At this point, we must be able to keep stacking that and have that consistency. I'm quite proud of all of you. I am really proud of you all. That victory took a lot of effort. You deserved it. We had 1, 2, 3 in unison. Sometimes the quietest member of your team stands up to be the hero your team needs. Furthermore, Kelsey Mitchell was all set for her moment. Throughout the season, Mitchell had come under fire for her erratic play. She vanished when the Fever needed to score the greatest, according to critics. Their ideas were also supported by the data. When it counted, Mitchell would shoot 3 for 15 the next game after going off for 20 points the night before. At the beginning of this match versus the Aces, those worries appeared to be entirely warranted. Mitchell appeared completely out of rhythm and missed her first few attempts. With each failed attempt, you could see the frustration mounting on her face. The audience at Gainbridge Fieldhouse became agitated. They sensed that without Clark's playmaking flair, the Fever's offense was crumbling. Every miss weighed heavily on Mitchell's shoulders. With every shot that failed to fall, the pressure continued to build. After 3 quarters, she shot 4 of 19 from the field. Players that have those kinds of numbers are benched during pivotal games. Coach Stephanie White, however, had an alternative strategy. Cunningham is handed off by Austin. Cunningham is too powerful. Mitchell was able to come to the rescue. Mitchell is heading straight for the edge. Puts it in and beats the shot clock. Mitchell came to the rescue. Possessions extremely unruly, creating chaos of all kinds, late shot clock scenarios, and finally Kelsey Mitchell. During a timeout, White drew Mitchell away and gave him the lesson that would make all the difference. Let it go. It will go, White informed her star guard. Mitchell needed to hear those straightforward words, and they did. White also brought Mitchell to mind. Must maintain equilibrium when attacking the rim in order to make better reads and choices. In ways that aren't always evident in the box score, Mitchell's teammates began to support her. In superior positions, they passed the ball to her. To persuade her to appear open, they set the displays harder. They gave Mitchell the room she needed to regain her confidence and rhythm. Carlson considered the trio. Inside, Cunningham feed. Boston turns, spins, ducks, and finds Mitchell, who makes a 3-point splash. Then, in the second half, something simply clicked. From anywhere on the court, Mitchell began to make shots. Her quickness started to pose a serious threat to the A's defense. She was finishing through contact and driving hard to the basket. When mid-range jumpers found nothing but net, she was pulling up for them. Incredibly enjoyable. A pair of former teammates played together for 2 years. Get out. Accept it. Mitchell assessing lie. She's gonna bury her a 3. Mitchell move out of the way. Pulling a deep trigger. Beaver up 9. In the fourth quarter, Mitchell took over. Personal display while the game was on the line. In those last 12 minutes, she scored 9 important points. When it counted most, she made 4 of 5 field goals. Mitchell tied the team record with 4 assists as well. She was taking over the scoring load and creating plays for her teammates. There are 2 excellent offensive coaches on the sidelines. Boston lays it in from Mitchell on this one when he discovers a cutting. Therefore, you don't want anyone to cut your face, yet it's only a excellent delivery. With 21 points in the end, Mitchell silenced all of the detractors who doubted her capacity to guide this squad in crucial situations. After they lost to the Liberty, she showed the mental fortitude she had spoken about. Her performance demonstrated that the Fever had a number of players who could step in and take over games when necessary. It was more than just swapping out Clark's output. The goal was for Mitchell to become the leader the squad has always required. Indiana's problem on Tuesday was not offense. They scored 84 points in spite of the fact that Caitlin Clark was absent. This is Cunningham's first night with Indiana, and she made 5 three-pointers. Thus, Sophie Cunningham is reading the stagger quite well. She is currently reading the second of your alternatives. Sophie Cunningham subtly emerged as the league's most dangerous shooter, while everyone else was preoccupied with who would take Clark's place at the top of the scoring charts. She was on a blistering hot streak going into this game against the Aces, having reached double figures in 6 games in a row. It was becoming impossible to ignore the numbers. The average for Cunningham was 13, 4 points and 7, 3 points and 7 rebounds per game. No three-pointers each evening. Is it your yes to play for Sophie Cunningham to resume tonight? I suppose you prefer her in the lineup at the beginning of a game. What is it about her? An additional ball handler. Another athlete that can create shots for her teammates, I guess. Well, really nice. Extend the floor. Also a defensive rebounder. We had, occasionally had a lot of trouble grabbing defensive rebounds. In that sense, too. And her vitality, whether she could continue to shoot well was not the question. Cunningham's ability to knock down shots was well known. The true test was whether she could keep up this amazing speed while against top-tier opponents like A'ja Wilson's championship team. Now the pressure was different. Teams were preparing a strategy especially for her hot shooting. The figures were nearly too good to be true. Cunningham had 58 points. In her last 6 games, she has shot 1% from three-point range. She was the WNBA's most prolific shooter in July thanks to that percent. Nor were they garbage-time threes. When her team needed it most, she was making clutch shots. This run goes on, but Cunningham manages to stop it. When the lights were brightest, Cunningham took the court against the Aces. 3 out of 4 attempts from outside the arc were defeated by her. Her 15 points were more than just a statistic. The Aces were prevented from making a significant comeback attempt by the precisely timed daggers. Cunningham consistently drained another 3 to dash Las Vegas hopes whenever they began to gain momentum. Melissa Smith was with you. I would simply make it plain. Simply instruct everyone to move to the opposite side of the floor if you're Mitchell. Cunningham immediately provides a 3 or so. It's not simply Cunningham's shooting that makes her unique. When needed, she provides leadership, defense, and rebounding. She was added to the starting lineup by coach Stephanie White especially to take advantage of her enthusiasm and adaptability. Cunningham's ability to spread the floor, grab defensive rebounds, and assist defensively was commended by White. She referred to Cunningham as another shot maker and ball handler. She is currently being seriously considered by basketball commentators as the leading candidate for 6th Player of the Year. Who else even comes close? Really? Because of her ability to fire clutches, one analyst referred to her as an absolute assassin. She is a strong candidate for the award because of her reliable scoring and significant influence off the bench. Vegas has performed admirably on the road, controlling the Indiana Fever's attacking output. You also can't lose Sophie Cunningham. A scoring danger that no one anticipated has been added to the Fever by Cunningham's transition from role player to serious weapon. She went from being a supporting character to one of the league's most feared shooters. The work of Natasha Howard. All game long, the groundwork was laid by a commanding 18 points and 13 rebounds. Howard dominated both ends of the court and snagged 3 steals. She discussed how their offense is fueled by defense. Our offense is fueled by our defense. After the game, Howard remarked, "Our offense is going when defense is going." However, McDonald's shot was the ideal way to cap off Howard's outstanding effort. First of all, we had to defend ourselves first. Our offense is energized by our defense, and we keep up games like that way. We don't use our offense very much. When our defense is strong, our offense is strong, and we depend on our defense to win. We got open shots for shooters inside the paint and everything since we only allowed the Vegas to take 1 shot. In jubilation, Caitlin Clark even leaped off the bench. Even though she was wearing street clothes and had a groin injury, her competitive fire was still burning fiercely. Throughout the entire game, Clark was totally focused. After the clutch shot from McDonald, she was bouncing up and down. Clark's exhilaration and happiness were evident as her teammates succeeded without her. In addition to securing the victory, McDonald's game-winning three-pointer also won the season series tiebreaker that might decide playoff seeding. The Fever's record versus Las Vegas is at 2-1. When it comes to determining playoff positioning, that tiebreaker edge might be really crucial. This victory wasn't your typical regular season triumph. It was a declaration of what this group is capable of. This victory wasn't the only one. According to the statement, the Indiana Fever are designed to win championships in 2025 and thereafter. Cunningham's shooting, Mitchell's leadership, and this team's defensive philosophy have all come together to produce something unique that transcends any one player. They are currently in 6th position in the WNBA rankings with a 13-12 win, 12-loss record. More significantly, they defeated Las Vegas in the season series tiebreaker, which may be crucial for playoff tickets. Caitlin Clark will be joining a team that recently demonstrated their ability to defeat anyone, anywhere, at any time, when she returns healthy. Indiana's future appears to be extremely bright. If you're fired up, leave a comment, Sophie. To ensure you don't miss anything, like, subscribe, and enable all notifications. We'll see you in the video when you click on it. Next.